Hey, Captain Logos here, preacher at large, teaching the word, inspiring, 5 minutes at a time. Hey, I'm still in Ephesians. And so I came across something when you look at the big picture of Ephesians at all 6 chapters and you look at it as a whole. Here's what I seen, right? We know there's a few therefores in it. And of course, therefore means you have to look backwards and see what the therefore is there for. We all know that. And it ties backwards to what was just said. But so Paul starts out Ephesians and he basically says who Christ is and everything he's done for us. All the spiritual blessings he's bestowed upon us in verses 3 through 14 of chapter 1. And everything else in the 6 chapters of Ephesians ties back to this. This is the topic. This is the anchor of Ephesians, right? Everything else we read, we need to read in light of verses 3 through 14. How do I know this? Well, back to the therefores. Look at the transition words as you go through. There's a ton of them. Right? We talked about therefore, and we talked about in the past that there's run-on sentences, like chapter 1 is 2 run-on sentences in the Greek. But when you look at the connector words, the transition words and phrases, they connect everything and the whole of the chapter back to chapter 1, verse 3 through 14. Okay, so remember that verse numbers and chapter numbers were not part of the original text. It was all added on just for ease of reading, and sometimes it breaks things up and you get things separated that normally wouldn't be separated. So you got to be careful for this. And so as we see this in the English, Ephesians is broken up into 6 different chapters, but literally it's one contiguous thought. And the topic of it is verses 3 through 14. Okay? So what's in there? It says Christ is explained, right? The greatness of Christ and everything that he's done for us and everything that he gave to us. We're blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed in those first 14 verses. That's what he did for us. Verse 15 is the first therefore of 11 connector statements or transition statements. Most of them say therefore. Some are a different variant, but they all mean the same thing and they all connect back. So verse 15, therefore, because of being, right, go back to the topic, blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, sealed, and saved, we need spiritual wisdom to apply to our newfound blessings. That's why Paul is praying for spiritual blessing and wisdom. Because we are blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed. Right? Chapter 2, verse 1, Paul explains a little bit more about us being blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, sealed, and saved. And that it's by God's grace, not by our doing, so that we don't get confused. It has nothing to do with us. It's all about God and what he did. 2:11, therefore, remember now that because you are blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, remember you were once just like the Gentiles. Don't get a big head. 2:19, therefore, because we are blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, we are no longer strangers, but citizens of heaven. Citizens of God's kingdom. 3:1, for this reason, because we are blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, Paul being a prisoner, so that because he is blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, saved, and sealed, he became a prisoner so others can be blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed. I know I'm being repetitive, but I hope you get the point. We got to keep going back. 3:13, therefore, right? Paul said, don't lose heart in your imprisonment just because of all this. 3:14, for this reason, because of being blessed, enlightened, chose, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, Paul, right, being a prisoner of all that, was the same thing, but he's showing appreciation because Christ did it for us, what he did for Paul. On to chapter 4, so the first 3 chapters talk about how how Christ is, and it's all about Christ. Now 4 through is how 6 is our actions, how we're supposed to act. Therefore, because we are blessed, enlightened, chose, saved, redeemed, and sealed, we need to walk in unity of the Spirit. Right? 4:17, therefore I say, because we are blessed, light, and chosen, accepted, saved, and sealed, we should no longer walk according to the world, because we're new people. 425, therefore, because we are blessed and light and chosen, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, don't grieve the Spirit. 5:1, therefore, because we are blessed and light and chosen, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, we need to imitate God and walk in his love and his light and his wisdom. That's how we treat everybody in our families and our co-workers. 5:10, finally, because we are blessed in light and chosen, accepted, redeemed, saved, and sealed, put on the whole armor of God so we can stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, a lot of stuff going on there. Just read Ephesians in light of the topic section, verses 3 through 14 of chapter 1, and have a great day. Get your face in the Bible.